Well, it's certainly no secret that there's a ton of scams taking place online or by phone. What a lot of us may not be thinking about is as we get older, as the balance in our bank account is probably increasing, as the value of our assets increase, as our credit capacity and the ability to get a loan becomes easier, we become more and more of a target for these scammers who unfortunately are getting increasingly more sophisticated by the day. So we all need to be super vigilant. And today I'm going to share with you 5 things that retirees, soon to be retirees, people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s should never, ever give out to other people. So let's start with this, the first one, which is access to your computer. Some scammers will call up and say that, they've detected this problem, or they're an internet service provider and they need to do something to fix your network. And the idea is to try to gain access to your computer with your permission. So sometimes they'll say, there's been this charge at Amazon and we need to reverse it. And for some reason they need to use your computer. And I know from the outside, this sounds insane. Who would ever let somebody do that? But you know what? It happens every day. So be careful. Never, ever let anybody else have access. And the way it happens is virtually online. Never, ever let somebody do that. The next one is be super careful with these text codes that our banks and our credit card companies are increasingly sending us more and more often, really as a way to protect against the scammers. But these bad guys are turning it to their advantage. I heard a story recently on the news of somebody that was about my age, probably even younger, that got a call on his cell phone by his bank. The caller ID said whatever the name of the bank was. And they said, we've seen this transactions taking place that look fraudulent. Can we check with you? Did you recently go to this grocery store? Did you recently buy gas? And the person says, yes to this, no to the other thing. And they say, okay, we've got to crack down on this. I need to verify your identification, right? So the purported bank is saying to the person on the phone, I need to verify your identification. So I'm going to text you a code and tell me what that code is so I can verify you. And I could see how people might have fallen for this. And so this person got sent a text, and it was really the bad guy on the other line trying to get into his bank account. And the bank sent a verification code to this person, and this person gave that code to the bad guy. And guess what? If you give that code to the bad guys, the bank's going to say, well, you gave that verification code away. It's on you. So I don't know how all this plays out legally, but you don't want to go through that headache, right? So if anybody calls you and says, hey, I'm with Amazon, we've got a delivery coming for you this afternoon, it's going to the wrong location, I need to change it, what's your address, I'm going to send you a code, something like that, you know what, just hang up the phone and contact Amazon directly. Look at your orders. If it's from your bank, call your bank directly with a phone number that works. That's a phone number that you've used before, or message them with inside the messaging app. And also be super careful with what's called personally identifiable information. So obviously your social security number, even your phone number, your email address that you use. We should all have several email addresses. Probably one that we only use for access to our valuable accounts that we don't give to anybody. And then we have another one that we give to friends and family. We probably have a work email address, and then we have a throwaway email address, right? But keep that main financial email address locked down and try not to share it with anybody, because you're just going to decrease the number of opportunities that spammers have to try to reach out to you and trick you with a phishing email. Another thing, just be careful, particularly, you don't really need that much information in order to get a loan to buy a car, in order to get a lot of loans, actually. So we all know this. We've got to be super vigilant with our social security number Sometimes you have to give that your social security number away. You're applying for a credit card or something like that. But that's, you're reaching out to that credit card company's website. And you're putting in that information for that. And it makes sense in that context. But just be super careful that you don't give that out accidentally to somebody because it seems like it might be appropriate. Only do that if you're reaching out to a trusted site and there's a legitimate business reason that they need that information. So be super careful. The other thing that I've seen is, and this sounds silly, but these infomercials for different products. I have a friend that bought something online and they were supposed to ship one package and instead they shipped 20 of them. And instead of charging $20, charged $400 for 20 of them. So if you see something on the television, if you see something online that you think, this looks interesting, to the extent you can, try to buy it from a reputable site like Amazon. I'm not sponsored by Amazon, but Jeff Bezos, if you want to sponsor me, I'd be happy to talk to you. So just try to minimize the number of different transactions you do with merchants and service providers that you may not know. The truth is we're all online now. We all do business with people for the first time on a credit card. But if you have the choice to use Apple Pay or Google Pay, this way that merchant does not get your credit card information. And Google or Apple or whatever the service provider is sends them a token and says it's okay to charge this, and that token is all they have. So if that small merchant gets hacked, you don't have to worry about your information getting hacked. Another thing is be super careful with anything that creates urgency or is kind of taking away your decision making. There is a scam with people calling and saying they're from the IRS and you need to send this payment or they're going to start auditing you. Or the police department, there's an outstanding warrant for your arrest and you have to make this good faith payment so that they know you're going to show up at court. Anytime anybody's reaching out to you by email, they're reaching out to you by phone, call the number that you know. And I can tell you, the IRS is not going to call you and make a demand for payment. I've actually met some people that work for the IRS and I've talked to them about this scam. And it's very frustrating to them. And what they say is, you know what, the post office is never going to call you on your phone and say, we need this payment in order to deliver this. They may leave a message at your door, but go into the post office. Don't let somebody else create a sense of urgency for you. Don't let somebody else take over your common sense decision making. So these are the main things that I want you to think about. And as you're thinking about getting ready to retire, I also want you to consider watching this video here, which is 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. I'll see you in there. Thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.